150 it is. How's it going, guys? It's me, Hasu. I'm playing Viego into Garen in this particular game. Um, Kazakhs invaded Zed, and because of that, I arrived to lane a little bit late. Now you're gonna see here that Garen ends up getting level 2 before me, which is why I have to end up backing away. Because you don't want to get traded on that easily, especially if you're running something like a Doran's sword. Because your sustain is heavily dependent on your ability to auto-attack the minions and then heal up your passive. So right here, I thought that taking this fight would not be bad. And I'm like, yeah, this is okay. I think I'm okay. But then I try to go back in because I want to get W, but the minion stays in my way. So unfortunately, I end up needing to flash. Now I know though that taking a trait like this isn't necessarily bad because Kha'Zix is coming. Kha'Zix is level 2 and I'm very low. This guy has flashes still, so I'm thinking if I go in, I'm just gonna get flashed on and killed. But, well, Kha'Zix ends up falling. Not the greatest start, I must be honest. I think this all stemmed from me kind of taking that really bad trade, or extending it. Like, the trade was fine up until I walked back in. Like, the moment he gets, like, he ignites me, I'm okay. But once I go back in, things get a little bit dicey, because then I need to flash away. Here I was thinking, okay, I should probably just recall, but then I remember I have red buff, and since I have red buff, I should be able to safely push this wave in without Garen killing me. Because Garen is gonna come in, full HP, level 3, but I'm level 4 and I have minions, plus I have a red buff, so I don't think that Garen should be able to fight me off here, so I just have to just push the wave. And this matchup, Viego versus Garen, is actually really Viego favored. I know it may not seem like it, but the thing about Garen is he doesn't actually do that much damage in the early game, whereas Viego does a lot more. And with your Q outranging his, I think you just have much better trading patterns into Garen that he has onto you. So that's why I would say that this matchup is really good for Viego. Now, I go Vampiric Scepter. The reason you want to go Vampiric here is because you're obviously building into... There you go. Unfortunate. Kha'Zix's not able to get the kill. But, well, you go Vampiric because it's a component for Blade of the Ruined King. And against Garen, who does build HP, I think Blade of the Ruined King is better than something like Kraken Slayer. Also, due to the dynamics of how the matchup plays out, what you want to do always against Garen is you want to take really good, like, you want to take even or better trades, and then you just end up winning out on the long term because you have better sustain than he does. And we're going to talk about that in a second, but I don't know what Garen did here. He just simply kind of decided to proxy, but it was a really bad timing because I don't really even lose anything for it. Kha'Zix ends up being around top lane anyway. I don't know if he thought that Kha'Zix was not going to be there, but Kha'Zix was there, so it is what it is. We're going to shove this wave right in. Probably Garen will be able to take it. I was a little bit surprised as to how far away those minions were. That's why I ended up losing or wasting my W, but in any case, that's kind of like the game plan. The game plan is you want to build Vampiric Scepter. Even without Vampiric, you're still out healing, I believe, if you're constantly out-attacking. He wants to just cut off the escape path, or not the escape path. He wants to, like, I don't know what he's doing, honestly. Like, I'm trying to defend this Garen so hard, but I don't know what he was thinking when he did that. And now he takes a really bad trade, and what I decide on doing is I just tell myself, okay, I have better sustain, he's fucked, so let me push the wave so he doesn't get to heal with his passive. Because that's the thing about Garen, he heals with his passive. That's his passive. His passive heals him. Plus he has Doran's Shield as well. So my idea here is, under turrets, I'm going to be constantly queuing him, which is going to make it hard for him to heal. So he needs to make a decision. Do I walk up and cancel my healing and get the minion, or do I just not get the minions? Here I was thinking, okay, let's try to gather up the minions so they push into me. And I think Garen realizes that, and he's like, okay, I cannot allow this to happen, so he tries to walk up. He gets level 6 though, and so now things aren't as, let's say, even as they would have otherwise been if I had kept being level 6 and he level 5. But I go in for a trade here. I'm thinking this is a good trade. Honestly, I got a little scared right there because I think if I just W, auto Q, auto, he's probably in lethal range, and he must need to recall. Kha'Zix gets the grubs. After Kha'Zix gets the grubs, I was thinking, okay, how about you come top lane? But I didn't really ping him. Because I think if Kha'Zix comes top, with Garen not having flash, I think it's a pretty easy dodge to pull off. especially if I am the one who starts tanking, because I can just kill and get out after. But yeah, so sitting on 1300 gold, almost 1400 gold at this point. Still ways away from completing the Blade of the Ruined King, but that's fine. Here I will admit that I'm a bit confused. I don't necessarily know where Zed is or where Galio is. You don't see them on the map. So because you don't see them on the map, I'm like, okay, I cannot afford to die here. Because that's the other thing about this matchup. And I think it's pretty much the same for any carry to carry matchup, and is that whoever gets ahead early, it's going to be very difficult for the other to catch up. So if Garen gets a kill on me, it's pretty much doomed for me for the rest of the game. In the isolated 1v1. If I have assistance, then fine, I guess it's playable, but in the isolated 1v1, he's just gonna stack check me to Oblivion, and I'm not gonna be able to do anything. So the idea is, when you think or you sense that there is danger in the air, just simply back away, right? Here, you can see him right there, their status. Had I been, pushing or playing in the same manner in which I was playing like a few minutes ago, I would have probably been in a much worse position, and maybe even blown flash or ulti and whatever, and well, that's not the idea. Here I'm thinking, okay, Garen has a small freeze, so I'm just gonna go and try to find Zed. Don't find them. Garen ends up pushing the wave because he thinks, okay, this guy is trying to kill Zed. So I'm gonna stop that from happening by pushing the wave. So overall, I think that decision was good. Even if I don't end up finding Zed, I make it so that Garen needs to push. Right here I'm thinking, okay, this guy probably recalled, so let me just push the wave. We see Zed in mid lane, so we know we're safe to do this. End up missing one minion right there. Unfortunate. Garen ends up coming back in. Not a big deal. We'll go for the reset. We're doing pretty okay in the lane. CS is looking good. Bot lane's looking okay. Mid lane's looking kind of not as good as the side lanes, but she's holding on. We're gonna go up top lane again. I decide to hold on to my TP because I have Home Guards, Plasma E, and Boots, even though they're tier 1. So I'm pretty confident I can make it to lane, even if I lose like a minion or two. Leaving or letting Garen get a plate here, you might argue it's not good, but honestly for me it doesn't really matter all that much. It doesn't matter all that much. Like, well, okay, sure, I TP and then I prevent him from getting one plate, but if I retain my TP, I'm going to continue on winning top lane, because even if he has Ignite, he can't kill me. I'm still winning the 1v1. And I still have TP to affect the other side of the map if I ever wanted to do that. So it's just keeping all your cards, not spending any of them without need, and that's how it works. Now, as far as the runes, I know I didn't talk about the runes, but secondary I'm running Sudden Impact, and so you're gonna see me doing WQ a lot, because when you do WQ, you get the bonus AD from Sudden Impact. So look at this now. I think I might hit one here. Boom. 48 damage additional. Just because I W'd before, which is kind of twice what I would have done regardless. So pretty good stuff. You can see that he knows he can't really kill me. If I get another auto attack right there, the double auto passive. You don't need to be afraid of taking tower shots, by the way, when you're playing versus Garen. I mean, sure, if you drop too low, okay, that may be a problem, but here I'm taking tower shots where I know I'll be able to heal them off, and just see how my HP just regens itself that quickly. Taking on more trades. Normally here, like, I'm not complaining, because I know that my teammates are getting stuff done on the other side of the map, or even in my side of the map, where I know they're getting void grips. So I'm not complaining that we're not diving, but it kind of feels a little bad that you have this guy under the ropes and you can't really kill him. Because if I try to dive him, all he's gonna do is silence me, a spin, ignite, ulti, and I'm dead. Like, that's literally it. And you can see it very clearly, just by imagining it. And, well, I know that that's going to happen, so I'm not going to allow it to happen. I look for traits whenever possible. Zed is coming in again. I realize it's coming down bot lane though. Coming down mid lane, I mean. So I look for traits. It's a very boring lane. like you have perma control, but it's a very boring lane. One thing you could do is you could proxy if you really wanted to, but in this game in particular, I decided not to because they have Galio. So you also need to be aware of like how they can respond to your plays. And Galio is a champion that is very good at denying you the ability to proxy because he can just ult Garen and I'm dead. So there is not much of a point. I am okay with just pushing this waves in. Admittedly, now that I'm looking at this game here after the fact, I would say that I could have likely been looking for more opportunities to get plates. You know, kind of like walking back and forth, autoing the turret once, autoing it again, so on and so forth. I could have done that. Or I could have just simply not pushed the wave quite as much. Like for instance, you see that every wave that comes in, I just push right away. I could maybe not do that, and then maybe that would be good. Because I would force straights onto Garen, but I don't think it would have mattered at the end of the day. Try to come in for a roam. Galio gets away. I don't take the ping ward down because I know that Garen is going to just shove that wave right in. And so I need to recall as fast as possible. Get Blade. Start working towards the bladed steel caps. I already have them actually, never mind. Pretty good. We TP in. Maybe lose a minion? Nah, not even that. Don't lose anything for it. Looking pretty good. I decided TPing here is not bad. Granted that dragon is still somewhat far away, so I think it kind of makes sense. There's nothing that I'm likely going to be doing outside of top lane anyway, so spending my TP to regain tempo again is a pretty good idea. Harry dies. Kha'Zix gets a traded back kill though onto Janna. Not bad, or Zed. I don't know who it was. Maybe it was Zed. Bread buff is up for the taking. We look at our CS, probably 10 CS per minute at this point. Looking pretty good. We have Blade of the Ruin King completed, plus bladed steel caps. Garen cannot really beat you. I think it's very hard for Garen to beat you. I queued the bush right there because I wanted to see if Garen was there, but he wasn't. He tries to come in for a trade. And look that the trade is actually pretty even, despite me not hitting my W. And I also have the ability to heal. Plus the red buff. This lane is a nightmare for Garen. Because what Garen's wants to do, they always want to burst you down. But they can't burst me. Because I am deceivably tanky with my plated steel caps. And I also do a lot of damage. Now Garen decides though, that if he can't kill me, he's just going to ignore me and push the wave. That's okay, that's smart. It's not a problem. 900 gold we have. The next item, by the way, here is going to be Gauntlet. And the reason we're building Gauntlet is because if you look at the items that Galio has, they're not AP items. Like sure, it might have a little bit of AP, but he doesn't really do a lot of AP damage. Kha'Zix getting caught. We have 4 people in. Bit unfortunate. Trying to save my ulti, trying not to use it. Ari TP's in though, and she's in a very difficult spot. She ends up ulting the wrong way. I think if Ari ults my way, she probably survives, but she ends up ulting where Galio eat into, and so you can't really go past Galio W. It is what it is. Senna roam though. They haven't seen her, so I'm just pushing the wave before joining her and seeing what happens. Zed goes in. I see Janna all alone. Ult in. One-shotter. Better get the shield onto the Senna. Don't end up really giving it to her. Computer is lagging a bit, as per usual. But we end up getting a free double kill. And this is all manufactured by Senna. Because they didn't respect that Senna could have roamed. And Senna didn't show. So we end up getting the kill. 2 kills, as a matter of fact. Which is really, really good for me. I had not seen action this game pretty much at all. And now I saw some action, so pretty decent outcome. 2400 is the gold. So I look at the inventory, realize that Iceborne Gauntlet's still like 500 gold away. So I tell myself, let's just wait it out. Let's just wait it out. There's no real point in me recalling right now anyway. And that's something that you may want to start looking at when playing your laning phases out. And is, do I really need to recall? If the answer to that question is no, I don't need to recall, then don't. Then just don't recall. What's the point? One thing that Zed did relatively well this game was not show on the map until the very last moment. Because right there, I wanted to start proxying, but then I realized I didn't see Zed until the way was already cleared. Here I'm trying to recall because I want to TP in, but Garen watched the spot, makes me unable to TP, and my teammates end up losing the dragon and the fight. Kha'Zix drops as well. I think to myself, okay, well, it is what it is. Not much that can be done about that. Let's just recall. We're gonna sell the sword and then buy the gauntlet. Wait, yet again, I'm not gonna use my TP if there is no need to use it. You could argue that I could have used TP on the wave and then maybe taken the top lane turret. But you see, I don't think there is any particular rush in me taking this top lane turret. I know that I'm gonna get it eventually. There's no reason for me to want to get it right now, specifically at the cost of my TP. I think to myself, okay, let's just not do it. Let's just walk, and that's what we did. Ahri has gone bot lane. Varus has gone mid lane. Pretty standard setup right now for all of us. Middle turret has fallen, so we have control over mid. In this position, it would be natural for them to come top, look for a little trade onto Garen, who is very willing and happy to take those if it means he can get his yes. Herald is dropped, and now Garen needs to run away. I'm not really looking at what's happening on the other side of the map, I just know they're kind of fighting. That Kha'Zix is dropping a bit low. He drops low, but Zed dies, so that's pretty good. Another charge comes through. Here, I was a bit afraid of going in, because I thought, oh man, what if Garen just silences me and I'm dead? So I don't go in. One thing that you're going to see a lot this game, or you probably have already seen a lot in this game since we're 20 minutes in, is that I play very safe when I have a lead. I play very, very safe when I have a lead, because if you were playing a tank or something that has utility innately with its kit, then I think it's fine to play a little more ballsy and just kind of not care as much about dying. But when you're playing a champion like Viego, he relies a lot on staying ahead. Like, you need to stay ahead on this champion. Which is why you see me trying to look for CS whenever possible. I don't overextend. I don't do anything stupid. I try to play a very clean game of League of Legends when I play Viego. Because if you die once, like, I cannot stress this enough, if you die once, the game is just pretty doomed. The game is pretty doomed for you. At least in your isolated 1v1 and your own autonomy as a champion, like, you lose a lot of that. Not to say that you can't play off of other champions, because you can, and that's one thing that Viego does really well, but yep. Galio was hiding, surprisingly. What you're gonna see here is a bit confusing. Kha'Zix goes in, and I go out. And I wasn't expecting Kha'Zix to go in, so I decided, okay, I need to turn back in. Even if it means dying. Because at the very least, I buy some time for Kha'Zix to finish off whoever he's fighting, and I buy some time for my teammates to come through. So at the end of the day, it ends up being a pretty decent bait. I didn't really mean for it to be a bait, they just tried to kill me, and I tried to run away. I think I would have, I was definitely out. Like, Kha'Zix decides to turn back in, and I'm like, okay, you know what, I can't leave my bow alone. I even typed to him, because that's literally what happened. I think that if I had actually followed Kha'Zix, given how tanky I am, if I get the Jinx reset, would probably clean up much easier than if I had just, than if I had not just run away, which is what I did. I ended up running away. So, I lacked a bit of vision on that play, I'm not gonna lie. I lacked a bit of vision. I ended up TPing in, because I think, okay, I can kill Galio here. But I go around the side, and he just barely escapes. And with barely, I mean he definitely escapes. He's really far away now. You can see him moving up the top lane. Ends up being a little bit of a wasted TP. I'm not gonna lie to you. Thankfully, Janna decides to donate a kill over. I go in for the assist. Obviously didn't mean to steal it whatsoever. That was not my intention. Low 15. Bought a recurve bow. So now I want to go Kraken Slayer. Because with Viego, you never want to go too far into the defensive setups. Because you don't do well with that. Like, your ability is to scale off of damage alone. Like, there is no scaling for anything else that isn't AD. So I think it's pretty dumb to go for a lot of defenses unless those defenses also give you some sort of attack damage. Which is sort of the case for Iceborne Gauntlet. Because indirectly, it allows you to deal more damage by sticking to your opponents better, and directly because it has a chain proc, which makes you do more damage. So I think that this is okay, especially again because they are basically full AD if we don't count Galio in. Here they try to catch me. I was being a bit careful of Galio, of the Galio ulti, which is why I wasn't fighting Garen all the way through. But Galio just appeared inside of the lane without needing to ult. I tried to run away because I realized that John is coming. I had dealt with some of the waves before, and because the turret's still relatively healthy, it's not gonna fall right away. My bot lane is just demolishing their bot lane. They may just get the inhibitor as well, and I just go top without dying. So created some pressure yet again, which the enemy had to respond to, and here we are. That's also the reason you go for a slightly more tankier setup when you go top lane, is because top laners tend to get picked on a lot, don't they? And you need to be ready. Kha'Zix ends up falling. He went in a very similar fashion to the one he did down in bot lane. In that fight, I got a little scared in. Still ways away from Kraken. Not sure what I'm gonna do here. Probably just do... Okay, no, it's taken. I thought about doing blue off here, I remember, but I didn't do it because it wasn't a global blue off, it was just a blue off, a normal one. So, should let the jungler take that, so that another person can also share the blue off, because if you take it yourself, then no one shares anything. And that's not very good. Push the waves again. Boring stuff, I know. I'm just like, man, this is so boring. Because the action is everywhere else but top lane. Like, I'm doing really well. I'm performing really well in this game. But it's just boring. And that's another thing that I've needed to get used to with Viego top lane and mid lane, is that sometimes action just doesn't really come your way. And in a game like this, that's fine, because I know that my teammates are winning regardless. You should never be on the side lane all the time as Viego top lane, because you're not very good at taking down turrets. Like, you're decent, but you're not Camille, you're not Fiora, you're not Trundle, you're not this champion, so why try to play the split push style? I drop my E because I wanna stop anybody from coming in. Set ends up falling. I go top lane, try to protect the turret. Likely not gonna happen, because Garen is already on it. And I feel really slow. I thought about going in, try to chase him down and whatnot, but I'm like, nah, he's Garen. I'm not gonna be able to do it. Let's just get the wave. He got the turret? Okay, big deal. I'm level 16, he's level 15. If I get 2 more waves, I'm probably gonna get level 17. I have Kraken Slayer in base. There's no reason to flip anything. That's my mindset when I play this game a lot in top. In mid even. With Viego. No need to flip. You don't need to flip, don't flip. And the problem is, ADC doesn't respect Garen coming in. And so Garen takes them down. Instead into flashing too. It is what it is. I don't get the cannon, unfortunately. But like I told you, level 17 to level 15. Doing pretty good, doing pretty hot. Not bad at all. Here, I see he's building Executioner. I TP right in. Get on a really bad TP. Because there was no need for me to TP there. Doesn't end up mattering too much, I don't think, because I needed to go top lane regardless. So this leaves me pretty close to top lane. But I think my next item should probably be something like a GA. Because I have a lot of armor, and that's good. But I'm very weak to CC, and they have Galio, so I could buy Asterix, which also grants me tenacity, or I could just do a GA. And I thought, you know what, GA is probably better. As far as I remember, Garen uses Flash, he doesn't respect us coming in, and he ends up just simply falling. Pretty underwhelming death there from Garen. He just kind of died. Same thing happens to Kha'Zix, who I believe didn't. I think he stood a bit far back. Like he stood behind the Senna ultimate, so he didn't get the shield, is what I think happened. I go around Zed, who apparently was not expecting me to do that. He ends up playing it nicely, gets the Ari. But he falls in the end of the day. I don't commit flash, I don't commit ulti. There is no need for me to commit any of those things. It's totally fine, it's just where we are. I'm a little worried of Galio going in. I'm staying a bit far back. As soon as he goes in, I go with the W, and then I get the kill on him. It's not a big deal. Can't really go any further, so I just run away. Level 18 to level 16 in the top lane matchup. Doing pretty well. I'm gonna go get another dragon. This is a mountain dragon. And mountain is really good. Because again, they're full AD. So they're gonna have a hard time even killing the squishy champions. Like Senna and Varus. Those guys aren't gonna die that easily. I complete boots. And then I buy Sigil. I believe I buy Sigil, because Sigil is one of the components for GA. So I just buy it. I could have bought the BF sword, but I don't think I need any more damage. I think that being harder to kill is probably more beneficial to me at this stage of the game. So that's what we do. Right here, I'm a bit afraid of my teammates inting. Because it's happened before, right? It's happened before, so I'm thinking, man, I should really just go with them. But then I realized, nah, let's put some faith on them, right? Because they're very hard to kill. They're mobile, they have invisibility, they have CC. The fight shouldn't be a complete wipe. I see Kha'Zix getting engaged them, and I think to myself, oh man, is this it? Is this really it? And so I'm just pushing this wave frantically. And then Zed dies. And now Garen is getting chased. And I just think to myself, oh, this is paradise. My teammates are winning on the other side of the map while I'm still pushing top lane. What better scenario is there as a top laner? None. It does not exist. So, once I realize that they're just all kind of dying and falling, I'm like, okay, let me ignore that turret. I'm gonna go for some kills. Unfortunately, the guy ends up falling, but I got another one here in the menu. Pretty sick sidestep, but the ulti comes through, and now she's dead. And, well, that was pretty much it for this game. Viego versus Garen is a pretty good matchup for Viego, in my opinion. Unless you have a jungler that is not able to pressure the enemy jungler, because if you get camped, then it's pretty hard, but that was it. Hope you guys liked it, and see you next one.